you one of those who are interested in leaving the United States, like me? Well, I've been living abroad for 5 years now without going home. I have not been home in 5 years. And I'm Californian. And I left, like I said, 5 years ago. And it wasn't just for political reasons, it was more for my health and also wanting to just have a better quality of life. If you want to find out what that's like living abroad as a solo black female, yes, I did leave the United States, just me. I sold everything and packed up and left and have not been back since, and I have made it happen. Life has been great. It's not super easy, but it's not super hard either. Different countries, same thing, just different languages. I didn't go to a safe place like London or somewhere where they speak English because I wanted to challenge myself. And plus, most of the countries that I enjoy, they speak another language. And I think you grow more when you go somewhere that challenges you. And when you go somewhere like the UK or Ireland or Australia, where even South Africa, where you can speak English, it does make it a little better. But those countries sometimes they're just as expensive as the United States. Most of those are. So your countries that you might have to speak the native language, they tend to be the cheapest. And that's not so difficult. A lot of these countries are cheaper, good quality of life, and you can eventually learn the language. But guess what? Being that we live in the new millennium, most people, if they don't speak English, they have Google Translate to get you through until you learn the language. And learning a new language is actually fun, and that's how you kind of ingrain yourself into the community. And it's just more rewarding anyway, and you build friendships a little easier this way. So, I encourage those people who are thinking about moving abroad, don't think so safely. Think out of the box like I did. Currently, I am in Skopje, Macedonia, but I'm also a traveler. So being able to have access to so many countries near you, you become more of a traveler too, because it's easier to be done. So I'm a slow traveler. I haven't found my forever European home yet because I'm enjoying myself so much, traveling from country to country and exploring which one fits me more, also learning languages. So it turns out that, I enjoy the travel aspect of it. But some people want to be grounded. They want to move somewhere and stay and not go anywhere else, find their home. And some people have a family. They might want to move abroad with family, children, and things like that. So you can't really travel during this process. You want to find a great place for you. But there are so many different countries other than the typical ones that, Americans tend to go to. Even Portugal. Portugal is great, but it's also safe because there's a lot of, Americans, a lot of Australians, people from the UK. So you'll find a lot of English speaking people there. But it's if that's what you're comfortable with, by all means do it. But when you're only thinking about going somewhere because they speak English, you kind of cheat yourself from learning and finding your real place. Because some places you may not speak the language, but once you get there, you feel it. You feel yourself. And I felt that in, for example, the Czech Republic. I don't speak Czech. I speak a little bit of it now, but when I first went there, I didn't speak any of the language. And they didn't speak a whole lot of English at that time. But I felt myself there. It felt like home. And so some countries you may not speak the language, but you feel it. So I encourage people to try it, stay there, especially if you're an American or anyone who can travel on their passport and use it as a visa. 30 days, not 30 days, 90 days in and 90 days out. I'll explain that another time. But you have 3 months to travel within the EU, in the Schengen area, so you can experience multiple countries and decide on what you like. So I encourage people to come out and travel a little bit first, not just go directly to, say, Portugal or, the UK, these places that are safe because they speak the language, or you may know a lot of expats that have gone there. Right now, Asia, Vietnam, for example, and Thailand and those places, a lot of Americans go there, which is cool. You have to learn the language, but it's also a safe space because a lot of Americans are going there. And not just Americans, but other English speakers. So it's a safe space, but it may not be for you if you don't. You need to try other places as well. But at the end of the day, as long as you leave the U.S. and experience other cultures and how the difference between, and I'm going to compare to the United States because I don't know about the other countries, about living in the UK or Australia or the other English speaking countries. I don't know what it's like to live there long term. So I'm only going to speak on the United States. And when you compare all the European countries that I've gone to, even the ones that are not as rich as the US or some of the other European countries, they by far are still better than the United States when it comes to quality of life, food, also the cost, and just safety, and even infrastructure is better than the United States. United States have a lot of money, but the citizens don't get to experience the country using that money for them. The money is spent in a capitalist way. So the infrastructure is not great in the United States. Many states, some of the poorer states in the South, their cities looks like third world countries compared to a lot of the Western European countries here, abroad. So you would find that. And you will find that it's a lot of things that we didn't know any difference. For example, there's no such thing as a credit report in these European streets. Maybe in the UK, I think they do something similar, but nowhere else is. So you don't have to worry about your credit score. That's a US thing and maybe a UK thing, maybe even Australia, but it's not a European thing. So those things make it easier for you to find somewhere to live, not worrying about, renting an apartment or even a car. You want to rent a car, but you don't need that most of the time because infrastructure is good. Trains, trams, metros, buses, easily available in most European countries. So I'm thinking about doing more talks about differences between, and well, not really differences, but how easy it is to move abroad than you think. Just put it that way. Easier than you think. It's not very difficult once you want to do it. But I think at this point in time, the way the situation in the United States is, I don't think it's getting any better anytime soon. Some people will want to wait it out for the 4 years. I personally think the 4 years is going to be not so great for a lot of Americans. I think it's going to get worse. The living standards, people are living in their cars. People with jobs are living in storage units and they are living in their cars because they can't afford, apartments. It's too pricey. Being capitalist, you have to worry about renting with a credit report or putting double amounts down for some, crappy apartment. It's just a lot. And I think it's going to get worse with this administration. So, if you can get the courage and start doing research, listening to YouTube channels like mine, because I'm going to do a live soon. I'll post the dates on TikTok. And I'll give more information about the best countries, the types of online jobs you can apply for,